He had been exploring the quiet edges of the planet for hours when he noticed something unusual floating in the distance. It was a spaceship, but unlike any he had seen before. Its surface shimmered like liquid silver, and faint lights pulsed along its curves. Curiosity pushed him closer, and he carefully entered the ship. Feeling a mix of excitement and caution, inside, the air was cold, almost like it had been frozen for a long time. In the center of the room, encased in a glowing crystal, was the alien princess. Her features were delicate and otherworldly, with shimmering skin that seemed to change color in the light. She was motionless, but there was a sense of life within her, as if she was waiting for someone to wake her. He couldn't take his eyes off her. Every movement he made seemed loud in the silence of the ship. He examined the surroundings, noticing strange symbols on the walls and small machines humming quietly. Despite not understanding much of it, he felt drawn to the princess. There was something in her gaze, even though she wasn't awake yet. It felt familiar and kind. He spoke softly, almost afraid to disturb her, asking questions he didn't expect to hear answered. His mind raced with wonder about where she came from, what her life had been like, and why fate had brought him here. As he reached out to touch the edge of the crystal, a warmth spread through the room, and he felt a gentle vibration under his hand. It was subtle, but enough to make him pause and realize that this encounter was going to change everything. The first step had been taken. The quiet tension in the room held the promise of something extraordinary, and he couldn't wait to see what would happen next. Every second felt heavy with anticipation, and he knew that this discovery was only the beginning of a story far beyond his imagination. Days passed, and he spent every moment he could studying the alien princess and the strange ship. He learned to understand the soft hums of the machines, the shifting lights on the walls, and the gentle patterns in the crystal surrounding her. Each day brought new discoveries, and his curiosity about her world grew stronger. He began to notice small signs of life, a faint movement in her hands, a subtle change in her breathing, and tiny pulses of light that seemed to match a heartbeat. Every detail fascinated him. He tried speaking to her, asking questions about her life and her world. Though she could not answer yet, he felt a connection forming, something that went beyond words. One evening, as the silver light of the ship filled the room, he found himself laughing softly at a memory from his own world. He glanced at her and wondered what it would be like if she could understand his thoughts completely. His mind drifted to a bold question, almost as a joke at first. He whispered, "What would happen if I kissed you?" The room grew still. The question hung in the air, and he realized he had no idea what her reaction might be. She remained quiet, but he noticed a subtle shift in her expression. Her eyes, now slowly opening, held a gentle curiosity that made his heart race. It was as if she was considering the question, not in fear, but with an unexpected calm. He stepped back slightly, unsure of what to do next. The tension was a strange mixture of excitement and uncertainty. Every glance between them held a world of meaning, and he knew that the moment he had just suggested could change everything. He felt a mix of nervousness and anticipation, realizing that their connection was growing deeper with each silent second. The story of them was just beginning, and every moment felt like stepping into something extraordinary. The next day, couldn't stop thinking about the question he had whispered. Every time he looked at the alien princess, he imagined the impossible, what it would feel like to bridge the worlds between them with a simple gesture. The ship was quiet. The soft hum of machinery felt like it was holding its breath with him. He approached her slowly, was careful not to make any sudden movements. Her eyes followed him, filled with a strange mix of curiosity and trust. The room seemed to shrink, and the world outside felt far away. Every heartbeat was louder than the soft hums around them. Every step he took felt heavier with meaning. For a moment, he hesitated, unsure if he should actually go through with it. The question that had seemed playful now felt real, charged with emotion. He looked into her eyes, searching for any sign that this might be welcome. There was a flicker of a smile, subtle but unmistakable. It gave him courage. He leaned in carefully, slow enough for the moment to stretch into eternity. The warmth of her presence surrounded him, and he could feel the subtle pulse of life within the crystal. Time seemed to slow. Every sound, every light, every detail becoming more vivid. He reached the space between them and paused, just at the edge. Feeling the weight of what he was about to do, then, with a gentle movement, the alien princess leaned forward slightly, as if inviting him, and the world around them seemed to dissolve. The connection was more than physical, it was a shared understanding. A bridge between curiosity and trust, between two very different worlds. He froze for a moment, caught between awe and disbelief, realizing that this single act was unlike anything he had ever experienced. It was a moment that could never be forgotten, one that changed everything in ways words could not capture. After that first moment, the room was filled with a quiet energy that neither of them fully understood. The alien princess looked at him with wide eyes, and for the first time, she spoke not with words he could understand, but with a gentle hum that vibrated through the air. It was soft and musical, carrying a feeling of warmth and acknowledgement. He felt a shiver run through him, not from cold, but from the sheer intensity of the connection. Every subtle movement she made seemed meaningful. Her hand moved slowly, almost brushing his, and he realized she was responding in her own way. Showing trust and acceptance without needing to speak a single word, he tried to stay calm. But excitement and amazement coursed through him. This wasn't just a simple reaction. It was an emotion bridging to completely different beings. Her eyes glowed softly, reflecting curiosity, wonder, and something he could only describe as a spark of recognition. He had never felt anything like it before, not with anyone. The way she leaned slightly closer, the way the light shifted around her, the subtle warmth of her presence at all left him speechless. He realized that this moment was about far more than a kiss. It was about understanding, trust, and a silent promise that they were connected in a way neither could have imagined. He finally allowed himself to relax, letting the tension melt. They didn't need words. Their emotions were enough. Every glance, every gesture, every small hum of the ship felt alive with meaning. It was a moment of pure connection, a crossing of worlds, and a reminder that even in the vast unknown, bonds could form that transcended language, species, and expectation. He knew this memory would stay with him forever, a moment of awe he could never forget. Days turned into weeks, and he spent every moment he could with the alien princess. The bond they had formed in that single moment continued to grow, deeper than words could express. Each day brought new understanding, and every interaction was filled with silent communication that only they could feel. He reflected on how much he had changed since finding her. Patience, empathy, and curiosity had taken root in ways he had never expected. The encounter had taught him to appreciate the unknown and to trust in the beauty of moments that could not be explained. He realized that even though they came from entirely different worlds, their connection was real and meaningful. The alien princess also showed signs of change. She moved more freely, her expressions became more animated, and her gestures carried warmth and familiarity. She seemed to understand him in ways that went beyond language. Their shared moments were simple glances, gestures, and quiet presence, but they spoke volumes one evening. As the ship glowed under the light of distant stars, he looked at her and smiled. She responded with a soft hum, almost like a song that filled the room with gentle warmth. It reminded him that some connections were timeless, unbound by distance or difference. They had both grown through the experience, learning trust, patience, and the quiet magic of understanding. He knew their story was far from ordinary. It was a true adventure of the heart and spirit, a reminder that bravery sometimes meant opening oneself to the unknown. As he stood beside her, feeling the soft pulse of life and the unspoken bond between them, he realized that the universe had given him a gift, a connection that would remain unforgettable, a memory that would linger forever, and a lesson that love and understanding could exist in the most unexpected places.